How are we feeling, Philadelphia Phillies fans? The Phillies got a series opening 3-2 walk-off win against the Boston Red Sox Monday night at home in Citizens Bank Park on a day that Zack Wheeler, the ace, one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, didn't necessarily have his best stuff on the mound for the team. He allowed a leadoff home run in the first inning to Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran. Obviously gave the Red Sox a very early 1-0 lead. There wasn't much scoring in this game. Final score was 3-2 Phillies. So one run right there in the very beginning, and then he kind of settled in. Still wasn't his best stuff, but he did get through that first inning with just that one run. Then he grinded through the next four innings, the second, third, fourth, and fifth innings. And then he got into a little trouble in the sixth inning. He allowed three hits, including the game-tying run to make it 2-2 at the time there in the sixth inning. He did get out of a jam. There was still runners on base in that sixth inning to keep it at a 2-2 game, keep the Phillies in a game. It could have been a lot worse for the team. They could have ended up losing that ball game. But instead, Zack Wheeler still pitched very well overall, got them out of that jam, kept them in the game. His final line was those 6 innings. He did allow 7 hits, just those 2 earned runs, but he did have 10 strikeouts in those 6 innings, so he did rack them up, and he threw 105 pitches in those 6 innings. Welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. I did mention the Phillies got a walk-off win, but it's not a normal walk-off that we're used to seeing. In fact, it's something that we haven't seen in so long. You almost never see it. The Phillies went into the bottom of the 10th inning, into extra innings, still tied 2-2. Brandon Marsh, he's been struggling all year at the plate. He was the ghost runner in the bottom of the 10th inning for the Phillies. A runner always starts on second base now these days in Major League Baseball when you're in extra innings. And then Otto Kemp, the rookie, he worked a walk on 4 straight pitches, 4 straight balls to make it first and second. Max Kepler, another struggling outfielder for the Phillies, he was squaring around to bunt to advance the runners to second and third with under 2 outs to try to score that winning run. Instead, the pitcher threw it behind Max Kepler's back. Wild pitch. The runners advanced to second and third anyway. So there it was. Runners on second and third. No outs. Tie, 2-2, tie game. Phillies had an easy opportunity to win that game with their game-winning run just 90 feet away. And then the Red Sox decided to intentionally walk Max Kepler. They loaded the bases there with no outs in the bottom of the 10th inning in a tie game, 2-2. Game-winning run, 90 feet away on third base. Edmundo Sosa came up to bat there with a great opportunity to walk it off and win the ball game. He worked a 2-1 count, and then he checked swing, or a 1-2 count, I think it was actually. One or the other, but he did check a swing. Yeah, it was 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, now that I remember. But anyway, he checked a swing on a ball, but he noticed, and the umpire noticed, and everybody else around noticed that he may have nicked the catcher's glove on that check swing, which would have made it a 2-2 count. Instead, the play was reviewed, and then it was determined that Edmundo Sosa's check swing, his bat, did in fact hit the Boston Red Sox catcher's glove, which means it was catcher's interference. All the runners advanced to base. Edmundo Sosa would advance to first base. The game-winning run would score from third, and the Phillies walked it off on a catcher's interference to win that ball game 3-2, something you just never see. I think I saw that it hadn't happened in Major League Baseball since 1971. This year is now 2025, so a very long time since something like this has happened in Major League Baseball. Just incredible stuff that you see on a baseball field. Anyway, the Phillies did get that walk-off win on the catcher's interference. And also, shout out to Max Lazar, one of the Phillies relievers. He was pitching in the top of the 10th inning. Obviously, as I said, a runner does start on second base with no outs. Usually, teams do end up scoring that run. I shouldn't say usually, but more often than not, it feels like teams do score that run from second base. Max Kepler was able to hold the Boston Red Sox scoreless in the top of the 10th inning to give the Phillies a great opportunity to win that game, to walk it off in so many different ways. So shout out to Max Lazar, and the Phillies ended up doing just that, walking it off in an unusual way, but still walked it off, got the win, and got back on track after losing that opening series in the second half after the All-Star break to the Angels over the weekend. Now they start this series off against a good Red Sox team with a win, going into tonight's ball game on Tuesday. Hopefully they can keep this rolling and get another win. Speaking of keeping things rolling, a big reason why the Phillies were able to walk it off there in the bottom of the 10th inning is because of the 4th inning that they produced. It just was great offense by the Phillies, a great team effort there. Bryce Harper hit a double in the 4th inning. I believe there was one out at the time. I could be wrong on that, but hit a double in the 4th inning. Nick Castellanos hit an RBI single to tie the ball game 1-1. They were still losing 1-0 at the time after that Zack Wheeler home run that he allowed in the 1st inning to Jarren Duran. So Harper double, Castellanos RBI single, tied it up 1-1, and then Nick Castellanos advanced to second base to get into scoring position on a passed ball that got by the catcher. And then JT Realmuto, the Phillies catcher, also hit an RBI single to drive in the go-ahead run to give the Phillies a 2-1 lead there in the 4th inning. He ended up stealing second, so also put himself in a scoring position. But unfortunately, that's where the inning ended because Otto Kemp grounded out to make the final out of that 4th inning. But they were keeping the train rolling there, getting some singles, getting some hits, advancing on pitches, getting the scoring position, taking the lead 2-1. And that's just great baseball, great stuff you like to see. It doesn't always have to come with power, home runs, or anything. Singles, driving in runs when you're supposed to in scoring position. Just great stuff out of the Phillies. Have been struggling in that category really all season long. So when that happens and they're doing that, it's just great to see, in my opinion. And speaking of doubles by Bryce Harper, he has been extremely hot since the All-Star break ended. Even going back before the All-Star break, he is just turning things around at the plate after some injuries in the first half of the season, some inconsistencies there for Bryce Harper overall at the plate, but he is hot right now. He is a double machine. Not only did he have that double in the 4th inning, but he had 2 doubles total in that ball game last night against the Red Sox in that win. That now he's up to 9 doubles so far in the month of July. And not only does he have 9 doubles in July, but he has 13 extra base hits in his last 8 games now. He is the first Phillies player to do that in an 8-game span, to have at least 13 hits. First one since at least 1901. The last Phillies player to have close to that many hits in an 8-game span was Odubel Herrera. I bet you didn't think or have on your bingo cards today that you'd be hearing Odubel Herrera's name, but here he was, came up in some history for the Phillies. He had 12 extra base hits in an 8-game span back in 2017. So Bryce Harper's 13 extra base hits are more than that in an 8-game span. And as I said, the first Phillies player since at least 1901. The Phillies go back before that. Stats hard to come by around that time or make sure they are true and factual. So good job by Bryce Harper. He's hot. It's great to see because when he's going good at the plate, the Phillies are just a great team and their lineup is just so much better. He is one of the best players in Major League Baseball. Now, shifting gears to the July 31st trade deadline. A lot of rumors came out yesterday about the Phillies, particularly about relievers Mason Miller on the A's, and there was another rumor that came out as well. The Guardians' Stephen Kwan. They've been, all over the rumor mill leading up to this July 31st trade deadline. They're one of the better teams in Major League Baseball. They have weaknesses specifically in the bullpen, also in the outfield as well. And I don't necessarily think if the Phillies do make a trade for an outfielder here at the deadline, it's not going to be an earth-shattering move. It's not going to be for an all-star player. It's not going to be for a great player, a everyday player. In my opinion, I think it's just going to be a guy that you can plug out there, specifically in left field, a right-handed bat to go along with Max Kepler, the left-handed hitter in that left field platoon. Just a little bit of an upgrade over somebody that they already have, and that could be Harrison Bader. He's a veteran outfielder. He's currently on the Twins, 31-year-old right-handed hitter. He's an outfielder, as I said. He can play all 3 outfield positions. He's mostly played left field in 2025 with the Twins, and he's a very good fielder. He has a .992 fielding percentage in left field so far in 2025. He's mostly been a center fielder throughout his career, but as I said, this year, mostly left field with the Twins. He's also played a little bit of center field and some right field as well. He has had a pretty good career overall. He finished 6th in the 2018 National League Rookie of the Year voting when he was with the Cardinals back then. He also as I said, a very good fielder. He won a Gold Glove back in 2021 with the Cardinals. He also has made his rounds with some teams here lately in the past few years. He has had stints with the New York Yankees, the Cincinnati Reds, the New York Mets last year, and now he's with the Twins, and that has all been since 2022. So was with the Cardinals for a little bit, and then he's been bouncing around from team to team, and he could be on the move yet again at this July 31st trade deadline for teams looking for a little bit of an upgrade in the outfield for this playoff push, like the Phillies could use, not having a tremendous year at the plate, but also not having a bad year. He's batting .253 with a .335 on-base percentage, a .445 slugging percentage, .780 OPS. He has 11 doubles, 12 home runs, and 36 RBIs in 87 games in 2025. Now, that was going back to before yesterday's game. I know they played late, so his stats may be a little bit different, but not too much. So, still, overall, a pretty solid season at the plate for Harrison Bader. Very good fielder still. And he's on just a one-year deal that he signed with the Twins, $6.25 million before the 2025 season. He did sign for a mutual option for 2026 for next year, which means both Bader and the Twins would have to agree to pick up that option. If not, he would be a free agent or be bought out. So there's always that as well. The Twins are a few games below 500. They are also a few games out of a playoff spot, a wild card spot in the American League. So they could be sellers, and a guy just on a one-year deal, a veteran who isn't necessarily lighting things up at the plate. He could be an easy trade chip, an easy trade piece for the Twins and a team like the Phillies who could use a little bit of an upgrade in the outfield, a little bit of power there with Harrison Bader, some good fielding, a little bit of speed as well, a right-handed bat to go in that platoon with Max Kepler. Just could make sense for the Phillies, not going to garner or require a lot of trade capital in return. Something to keep an eye on. He's been linked to the Phillies as of late. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Henley. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. A crazy win last night for the Phillies. Hopefully, they can build on that tonight, get another win against the Red Sox, pick up a series win, and go into tomorrow night's game on Wednesday looking for a sweep. We'll see what happens. Hopefully tomorrow we're talking about another Phillies win. Again, thank you guys for watching, and as always, go Phils.